Hey guys, so last time I showed you how to, in the last video I showed you how to draw and shade something like this. In this video I want to show you how you can get from this and shade this area here so that you come up with something that looks like this, right? And this is only looking like this because I took out the grid on the x-axis and y-axis, but I want to show you how to get from here to get to here, so you have something like this. And remember, the idea is that eventually you can get to something like this and then add in these little extras the way you want, as I showed you in earlier videos, like on how to do this or the other box grid. So let's see how we can get from here to here in this video, starting with an empty graph. But to make my life easier, I'm going to go and copy these equations because they're the ones that help me get to this, and put them in my new graph so I don't have to construct them again. There we go, equation number 2. And guys, remember, if you have any questions at any point, I can help you, except if I'm super swamped with the baby, but it's not an excuse. I mean, it's an excuse, but it's not. I'll find time for you, and I will call you on Zoom or Skype, or not Snapchat if I have to, and I'll help you. So private comments, messages, emails, anything you need, I'll help you. So how do we shade this area here? Now, unlike in the previous video where it was relatively easy to shade between these two intersecting lines, here we can't just use one equation like this to shade the region between this line, you know, above this line and there, that arc that I'm drawing with that red dot on your screen. That is not going to be super easy. Let me show you why. So if I have this, I know that this equation is 0.5x, so that region greater than 0.5x, the reason why it's not, I can't just use one equation, is that this inequality right here shades everything above this line. By shading everything above this line, it includes this part which I have already shaded and don't want to mess up. So I need to find a way to only shade for this line from this point to this point, right, upwards, and then for this other line, for this other blue line which you're seeing in the background, that blue line which is the equation y greater or equal to 3 out of 2 x plus 2, for that line I also need to find a way to shade just from negative 2 up to 20. So that's what I'll try to do. For this line, y is greater than 0.5x, I'll only shade it from negative 20, x value domain, negative 20 to negative 2. Just that. And then for the red line, shading everything above it, I'll shade it from negative 2. This is the domain that I'm restricting. I'll shade it from negative 2 to positive 20. Now the different colors, that can be solved easily. I can just make them look like they're the same color so that it looks like, you know, one shading. The only problem, however, is that both of them are going beyond this y value of 32. I want both of them to stop shading right here. So if I want both of them to stop shading right there, I need to put a restriction of 32 on my y values. So both of them should be less than 32. So I can see that for this equation, y is greater than 0.5x, but I want that y to still be less than 32, such that it doesn't shade above this point. Same thing for this equation. It's greater than 3x plus 2, great, but I want it to be less than 32. So I'm going to tweak these equations a little bit. How? I am going to, remember, this is y is greater than 0.5x, it's not going to change. If I write it like this, this still means that y is greater than 0.5x, but it gives me room to add something else, that y is also less than 32. I'm going to do the same thing for this equation. I'm not going to change it, I'm just going to sort of rearrange it. So y in this case is still greater than 3x out of 2 plus 2, but also now less than 32. I have both of them and they help me shade the rest of that part. So I'm going to do the same thing but just oppositely to shade this bottom part right here. So to shade that bottom part, again the equation y this time will be less than or equal to 0.5x. I'm only interested in shading that from -2 up to +20. -2 up to +20. Up to +20. And then for this other one, y is less or equal to 3 out of 2x plus 2. Only interested in shading that from -20 up to -2. So -20 restricting the domain for x values up to -2. I can make them both have the same color because I want my pattern to look the same down there. So again, they're both shading way beyond this point, -28. So I need to restrict them to shade only up to this point of -28. For this one, it's easy. I want y to be greater than -28. Same applies for this one. I want my y to be greater than -28. So I'll just add that there. And then there you have it. You have shaded those regions on your thing. Yeah, I think that's that. Alright, thank you. See you next video. Bye.